minimum of 26 other forms of taxes that is being collected by the state government. Unfortunately, they now want to collect more. Now, rather than block leakages, they are now proposing another 9% communication service tax bill. Sorry, we're not going to take it, particularly when taxes are being paid already on every aspect of communication by the local government, by the state government, and by the federal government through their different agencies. Again, in Ghana, only 3-4 weeks ago, they have reduced the import duty on handsets and on telecommunication services. In neighboring Ghana, rather than increase taxes, they are reducing, duties. They are reducing taxes. And this sector is the most provider and most empowerment job creation for Nigerians. It's rather unfortunate that the government is taking this step. We will definitely not allow this. There are so many taxes we are paying already. The extra 9%, we're not going to take it at all.
Mr. Ogunbanjo, so what does the Subscribers Association of Nigeria plan to do about this?
Sorry?
What does your association plan to do about this?
Oh, thank you very much. By now, before now, we have issued press statements and saying we are definitely not going to, accept this tax. Furthermore, we are now planning to engage the President of the Senate, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, the Minister himself, that is Barrister Adebayo Shitu, as well as the MD, the CEO and EVP of the Nigerian Communications Commission. And in various fora, the minister has said that he is obviously going to engage stakeholders before this bill, gets through to the public hearing stage. I must tell you that that is not being done. Consultations is not being held like he promised, and I'm sure they want to do it like the usual, things they do. After second reading, they will just pass it to the committee, and 1 or 2 days, they say they want to do public hearing, they won't give notices, and they will just pass it, just like that as an act. We are not going to take this. We are first of all going to engage, the National Assembly, that is the Senate President, the Speaker, the Minister, as well as the EBC of the. That will happen from next week. We're going to do that from next week as an organization.
Okay, Mr. Ogunbanjo, you have said your association is not going to take this, but this is not the first country that will be having, this kind of tax. Bangladesh, Turkey, Congo, Ghana, and some other countries. Why can't we have it? Because of some of the reasons that the communication minister has said.
You see, in Nigeria, some of these things are just done. But we now want to tell, the executive that, look, there are certain things that you have to do before embarking on some of these your plans or policies. But beyond that is the fact that, look, they should not go on to impoverish Nigerians. Too many taxes. And the majority of the young, entrepreneurs are tapping on so many applications, and making an income for themselves. If you now increase this bill, if you now increase the telecom tax, that is going to spell doom for the industry. And unfortunately, there already, the state governments are, forming all sorts of agencies, extracting money from telecom companies. that, apart from write-off where you use all sorts of taxes, can you imagine one of the state governments are looking at fumigation tax from base stations, by the operators? That is laughable. Unfortunately, the local governments are also not selling the telecom companies all sorts of taxes. Now you want to introduce this one again? No. We are obviously going to engage government. This is not going to work, and we're not going to take it as Nigerians.
Okay, just hold your thought. Mr. Dagunro wants to add something.
He has rightly said they have the right to engage the government and they have the right to engage the minister. And he said one thing, that the minister is supposed to have contacted or consulted with the stakeholder. That should have been the first step before even you sponsor whoever sponsors this bill. But the most important thing, if we compare all other countries and we say all these things are being paid, like I said, it's being paid everywhere. You pay communication taxes, you pay all this tax. But that is not that we cannot. But this is not the right time. And I'm saying this because, like he has enumerated, if you see those men and women who are selling these recharge cards all over the place, they are making a living from it. And then if you begin to say, look, this, and people are not, then the economy will not grow. We have inflation right now that is, rising every time. We have problems of having foreign exchange to, mobilize or to make the factories work. You see companies closing down. I've just been told that Risco, that man that was doing tomato paste, has closed up. So we have to see how to increase our growth, our GDP, increase, the level of our understanding. There's no transparency in most of these things. That is one of the three things we have to understand. When there's no transparency in all these infrastructural things we're talking about, you see, if you are saying that you want to bring in 3G, 4G, 5G or broadband penetration, and people begin to have it and the cost will reduce, you are not doing that. This thing continues to increase every time, and then people will pay from their own purse, and you see, we are not developing this technology industry. The government should have a platform where guys will come together. Technology industry is one of the vibrant industry we are not developing at all. And how do? We are not saying, look, come together, have hubs whereby you can create software, you can have knowledge. But we celebrate Zuckerberg when he came into this country. These are real billionaires you can think of. We can raise billionaires not just by giving these oil blocks. And we are seeing that in the next few years, we begin Senegal, they have found oil as well. And so we are going to find ourselves in a situation, if care is not taken, if it's just about taxes and taxes, we're going to find ourselves in a situation whereby our oil will not be something good again. Okay. So let's develop the technology. If you say you want to tax, but this is not the right time, you want to increase the VAT, possibly they might increase the VAT. We are paying lower VAT in this country, people say 5%, but then you are not taxing them.
Who are you comparing us with? Who else has a minimum wage of 18,000 naira?
Yeah, see, when you look at the wages thing, I think we don't have a good statistics of even why do we pay 18,000. I've explained it somewhere. If you ask somebody who you are paying 18,000, he pays about 5,000 to rent a house, and it spends another 5,000 for transport, and then you take payee, you take taxes, he pays on. So ideally, you have to free some people from these taxes. The SMEs, some of them have to be freed, that you don't need to pay tax at all. And I think this is what this gentleman, this governor is doing somewhere. Is it in Anambra State or wherever now? I said, look, certain people at a certain level, they don't need to pay tax. But when people begin to hear only tax, they are not even interested. And I tell you, most people will deliberately not pay tax in this country. If you look at what happened even in the electricity industry, you say you unbundle. I can tell you, Ikeja Disco, they just slam people with bills. Yeah. And they are very irresponsible. That's one of the irresponsible companies you can think of, that they are not sensitive to customer issue. They slam you with bills and they say come, and you write to them 3 or 4 times, you write to them, they're not responding. So if you just want to take tax from people and say it is after you have the first reading or second reading, and this is why people are so mad with those things that people are doing. The Nigerian citizen, they will not vote just for the sake of voting anymore.
Okay, we'll come back to this discussion after this very quick break. Just stay with us on Sunrise.